Hello, hello, hello. Hi, social media, digital
Right?
world. Hi, Daniel. How are you?
Hi, Kai. How are you?
I'm doing well. And hi, everyone else out there watching. Welcome to Pyro Media, a collaboration between APLA Health Prevention Department and Pyro Media Network with funding by CDC. Yeah, show me the graphics.
Gotta love a good graphic.
So if you noticed, we're missing a couple of people today. You're
Are
you're you're here with the
we
light
are? We
team
are?
today. Ty and Rogelio are out today because they are getting their COVID vaccine right now as we speak. So, we let them off for the night, if you will. Um, and then also, if you had watched any of the promotion beforehand, you saw that we were going to have a wonderful guest, Martina Sellers or Marty, our kind of, I wouldn't say in-house therapist, but one of Healthy Him's favorite therapists.
He's one of our residential helpers of therapy.
There you go. Unfortunately, Marty, busy man, got a lot going on and was unable to make it tonight, but that's okay. Daniel and I came together and we found a wonderful, wonderful replacement for today's episode of February Feels. And that wonderful, wonderful person we'll get to in a minute. But before we do, we're going to introduce ourselves. You like how I kind of went there but said no?
I like the tease. It was
So,
very cabaret. It was very, can.
we love a soft tease. So my name is Kai Smith. I am program coordinator for Healthy Him and APLA Health. Hello.
What's going on, you guys? I am your favorite prevention training specialist, Daniel J. And of course, I'm the prevention training specialist for our at-home HIV testing initiative, Swab and Chill.
And our extra special guest for today is not only one of our coworkers, someone that we enjoy spending time with, but someone who we've been on their social media show, Plug on Drugs. See that plug I did? Is the wonderful and amazing Roger Siddiq. Whoa.
Roger Cediles. Hello everyone. This is Roger Cediles. I am the program manager for the substance abuse programs here at APLA Health, and I'm really happy to be here with you all and have a wonderful conversation with all of your energies that are always amazing, and it's always amazing to watch. So so thank you so much. And just so for the people that don't know the programs under the substance abuse programs, we have Party Wise. It's a program for men who have sex with men who use crystal meth and who might be looking into reducing the harm and the risk related to their use and their sexual behaviors, as well as we have two youth programs from 18 to 24 and one 18 to 29, Proyecto Impacto and Project Impact, working with our Latino community and our brown and black community, and having conversations and about substance use, about sex, about risk, and about how to reduce your risk and things like that. So if you want more information about the program, please give me a call back on the number under the screen or send me an email to rscdals@apla.org. Thank you, guys.
So Roger, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you right now, you can let loose a little bit. I see the professional hat is on, honey. He said, "Look, I'm representing the organization. It's okay. You can give us a little bit more of that Facebook Roger that we see every now and again."
I'll try. You know how
Take a deep breath, release, honey. We're here to have a wonderful, honest, candid conversation about so many things that we tend to talk about on the link.
Yeah, Roger, relax. It's just us. You talk to us all the time.
Right?
But with that, let's get into our first little segment of the day. What's poppin'?
Oh, Jesus.
So for Roger and for anyone else who's watching who doesn't know, What's Popping is our social media, cultural, to-do, current events section of the stage. So we like to come in with some useful information. So who has something new to talk about? What's happening in everyone's world? Valentine's Day just happened. A lot of things are going on.
So I don't know where I've been. Okay. Sorry, my dog is getting really excited. So live television, gotta love it, right? I don't know where I've been. Apparently people have known about this for some time. I just found out that Fantasia is pregnant. And so her and her husband were on Instagram in a beautiful photo. She had this beautiful red dress, and of course he was holding her belly like, oh, the new baby's coming. And I was just like, where have I been that
Right?
Fantasia Barrino is pregnant?
As I go to her social media right now.
I was very shocked. Outside of that, I don't know, a lot of people have been hearing about this new platform on social media called Clubhouse. And I have actually been frequenting, I hope, am I saying that word right? I feel like I'm not. I frequent, how about that? Change the sentence. I frequent Clubhouse quite often, and it has really been an interesting platform to experience. It definitely is a throwback to an era for those of us who remember the party line, where you talked to people and got to know people simply by what they sounded like. And so Clubhouse has actually been a huge and booming community. So many, thousands, millions of people around the world. Of course, those of us who have iPhones are on Clubhouse right now. They have yet to figure it out for the Android users. No shade. Hey, I didn't make the app. I'm just giving you the facts. But I have to say, I really enjoy Clubhouse for the fact that it gives people an opportunity to connect with literally anyone. Like, you have celebrities that are on there that you can go into a room and listen to them and have a conversation with your favorite celebrity. You know, you could be talking to Tracy Ellis Ross. You could be talking to Queen Latifah. You could be talking to, Jennifer Lopez. Let's get loud. That's never gonna die. That's never gonna die. But I have found, I bring it up because it brings up the question for me, how in a world, in a time with this pandemic that we've not been able to have any physical connection, I think that Clubhouse is proof that there is a possibility that even just talking to people and communicating and getting to know each other vocally without any type of video, without any distractions of like how you look or what you're doing, that you can really create solid connections. And I think, it's really amazing to experience. So if you are not on Clubhouse, and you are interested in Clubhouse, I would definitely check that out.
Don't you have to have an invitation to get on Clubhouse?
So you can actually. So yes, there's a couple ways that you can get on Clubhouse. Okay?
Come on in,
but you need to invite me because I want to access.
Look, yeah. So the way that it works is you can become a member by invitation, but you can also submit to become a member. And then depending on how many people that are on Clubhouse, they can send you an invitation and approve your request. The problem with invitations is that once you're in Clubhouse, you only get a certain amount of invitations. And if they run out, they just run out. So, but
So if you want to get on Clubhouse, you got to know somebody.
But when I tell you, there are so many people on Clubhouse, trust me, it's not that exclusive.
It's not hard to get on Clubhouse, people. I'm just kidding. But you brought up a really, really great point, and I won't go too deep into it because I think it's actually going to help with our main topic. But during right now too, especially because Clubhouse, from all the social media that we see on regular, Clubhouse is the first one that I've seen in a while where it seems like the only purpose is just to talk. It isn't to like show people things. It is to have conversation. And I think that's what really makes Clubhouse, in my mind, something that could be really, really great. I mean, we've seen a couple of the Clubhouses, not all the topics are great or not everyone involved is, 5-star quality content people. But I think it is a really good conversation.
There have been, Clubhouse has an entire language of their own, and in such a short time has created such a culture. You go into the app, into what's called the hallway, because anyone can create a room. And so it's literally like you're in a hallway and there's a whole bunch of rooms that you can go in and out of. You have speakers on the stage, the virtual stage, you have the people who are listening. But they are doing so much with Clubhouse. Like, there's a Dreamgirls production happening on Clubhouse at the end of the month.
Come on, man.
At the end of this month. So like they're literally doing a complete vocal rendition of the entire musical, not just the singing, but the script, the speaking part. And so again, these are people who are around the world who are participating in this project. The project is going to raise money and then be given to a charity. But again, the power of conversation, the power of networking and using your voice to really promote change. And it's interesting because Clubhouse came to be originally for top tier CEO executives to trade stock secrets and business techniques. And it was going to be very, very exclusive, very private. And of course, like everything else in the world, it took a Black woman who decided that it would be better served for the community. And she went and really helped it become a public app versus just an app for the 1%. So I think that that is a really great thing. I can say from my experience, most of the rooms and the people that I have seen have all been people of color. I have not seen a lot of white or non-Black or non-brown individuals on the space, even though they are there, obviously. But it is definitely an app that you see a lot of people of color on, which, you know, obviously makes someone like me very, very happy.
I love that. Great. Thanks, Daniel. So everyone out there, I'm not on Clubhouse, but you know, I'm a big Twitter head. So everyone on Twitter was talking about Clubhouse when it first came. So I got a lot of that information beforehand. You know, a couple people have asked me, I'm like, no, I don't have anything to contribute. Maybe.
Well, if you need an invite, you let me know. I'll send you an invite.
I definitely want to try it out. I want to see what's going on in there. So I'm gonna have to submit a request, see if they accept me.
Well, Roger, if I get on, I'll invite you.
I'll invite you, Roger. I'll send you an invitation.
Perfect. Yeah.
I mean, people have when I'm telling you, the power of conversation is like, there are people on there that I have become associates with and really cool, like Clubhouse friends with. We've exchanged numbers, we've hung out safely, of course, with masks and sanitation and social distancing. But there have been like couples that have found each other on Clubhouse. Like relationships are blossoming. Like, I'm telling you, it's incredible that in the age of technology that we're in, that we have resorted back to something that we were doing in the 90s on the party line. So I think that it's really kind of funny.
We love that. So I have something for us today for what are we doing? For the What's Popping. Why did I forget? Have y'all seen
a full head of perfect curls? I'm just saying.
We're having a good hair day, everyone.
Yes.
But did you all see that basically the entire country is like frozen, but us? Like the cold storms that have been hitting this world, in Texas especially, that's been like...
And I know some people that moved to those states. And you know, they're moved from California. They lived in California their whole life, so this is kind of like really bad for them. Like they don't know how to handle it. You know, I wouldn't know. So it's crazy.
I think what's been so scary to me about this is thinking about, you know, we've spent the last year basically telling our government we need our government to be prepared, right, for COVID, for everything. In Texas, we are seeing their power grid unable to provide power to people because of the cold weather. Then it gets back to, so why aren't these governments being prepared? And that's really, I think, to me, has been the scariest thing, seeing people like in their homes, inside, it being like 40 degrees, and they cannot heat, they don't have power. Like, it's terrifying. And there's no place to go if no one has power. So it's one of those things for me, especially, you know, we're coming up on a year for COVID. You know, we've got this new administration over, but like at times it's like, what is our government really, where are we prepared for? Why are we ever prepared for things like this? Like, I know there's certain things we can't be prepared for, but it's like, we're not prepared for natural disasters. We're not prepared for weather. We're not prepared for these things. So I know for me, seeing all of that and like seeing people like really panicking in Texas, you know, not having power, it being freezing cold, like it's terrifying for me. So that's something I've been really kind of like keeping an eye out on. Have you all heard of anything about that, or?
Well, you know, I have a lot of family and friends in Texas, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, and it has been very scary to watch them post what it is that they're posting. I know someone who's in San Antonio. They walked into their home after getting, I believe, home from work, and the piping in their house had frozen and burst. So their entire living room and bedroom was flooded.
Oh no.
The power is out. There's no heat, and there was no one that was answering the emergency line of her building. So it's like, you're dealing with these things, and again, like you said, it's below 40 degrees, 20 degrees. I even saw someone post where it was like almost 1 degree minus 1 degree. It's very scary, especially when you move to certain states where that is not the norm. But I also feel like, we have technology now that can predict what weather trends are happening and what's going to happen in that area. And so to not have something in place, even though you can't think of everything, but if you see a trend of cold fronts coming to Texas, and the possibility of X, Y, and Z occurring, you would think that there's like a statewide warning that goes out and says, hey, this is coming, let's prepare for this. So it's really scary. I think when it comes to power outages, when I was a kid, they weren't as scary because we didn't necessarily depend a lot on tech stuff. But today, when you lose power and you don't have any technology, you're literally thrown into a stone age. And so I think that is definitely frightening.
Yeah, I was getting my second shot vaccine today. Yay. And I was watching the news. And I noticed that people are recurring to things like sleeping in their cars with their cars on just for the heater because they don't have electricity. I mean, people have unfortunately passed away doing things like that, right? And so it's so scary and so dangerous, and people do other things like turn on the what is it called, the kitchen,
the stove,
and that's super dangerous, and so it is really sad that we're not prepared, for things like this.
And that's if they can get their car to start, depending on how cold it is, their car won't even start. So it's a really, I'm really praying for the people that are dealing with those weather conditions and those outages, because from what I've seen on my timeline on social media, it's a little scary.
Yeah, so if anyone out there watching has any resources for services for people who might be needing kind of assistance, true, we're not in Texas, true, California's fine, but we are more than happy to share that and provide that to us. So please, 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 we are sending all the positive energy out to the rest of America that's kind of cold right now. Next order of business is not as fun either to talk about, or it might be our government. So if you didn't know, last week, our ex-president was not indicted on any charges, so he will not be removed completely for impeachment. He was impeached twice. His second trial was the shortest impeachment trial ever in United States history, but no charges were brought, and looks like he's getting off scot-free. And I am just tired of this man never getting any kind of repercussions, it feels like, for anything. For inciting violence, for nothing. And I don't know.
When I think about the whole impeachment process and I look at the history of our presidents, there has only, if I'm not mistaken, there has only ever been one president in the history of America that was ever removed from an office during an impeachment. Beyond that, I think Trump is only the third person ever in our history as a president to ever be impeached. People want to say, well, what about Nick? Well, Nixon retired. Nixon was never impeached. He resigned. And so I didn't expect for him to be, charged or indicted or whatever the case may be. But I definitely think that these are things as a country, as a people, as an American people, as a voting people, where we have to really look at what things need to change. And simply saying, because you have those people who say, well, the Constitution is like, that's what some of those things in the Constitution need to be rewritten. And I think in 2021 and these next 4 years, I think there's a lot that we need to go back and write an addendum to and for, because it just makes no sense that just because you hold one of the most powerful seats in our country and, arguably the world, that you can do whatever you want, in theory, and not have any type of repercussion or consequence. I think it speaks very poorly for us as a country, and I'm sure it doesn't make us look any better to the rest of the other countries that are looking at us and going, wow, you guys are idiots.
I mean, they always have been.
I do hope that at least this, though, make people think twice next time, doing things like the things that he did, like although there was nothing done this time, but at least he was impeached once, you know. And so it's just, you know, it's just like I really hope that people in high power really think about how it's affecting everybody next times around, you know, looking
Yeah,
at what just happened.
yeah, I agree with you, Roger. I do wish that people would, but we also know people in power have power and they like to keep power and they like to stay in power. So for me, it's one of those things like I hope next time if something like this, we as a country, people in power are able to step in and recognize. But you know, historically, has that ever been the case for this country? Maybe not. But we'll keep going.
Yes.
Then stimulus package. Hopefully by next week we are seeing something being voted on. Right now, the way the stimulus package is going, it is getting no votes from the Republican Party whatsoever. So we really have to go through the Democratic Party, and then in the House it'll pass. In the Senate, as long as all Democrats say yes to it, it'll pass with Kamala's tiebreaker vote. But right now, some people are saying no because part of that is a $15 minimum wage. So $15 be the new national minimum wage, and some people have issues about that. What are your two thoughts on minimum wage being $15?
Oh, the things that I want to say. I feel like $15 as a minimum wage is the bare minimum that we can do for working families in this country. If you ask me, I think $20 needs to be the bare minimum because of where the economy is in this day and age, specifically where the economy is and where it's projected to go in the pandemic and post-pandemic. I think for people who argue that $15 is too much for minimum wage, they are negating the fact that minimum wage in theory, you know, was so little because it was meant for jobs that, you know, teens were working coming out of high school or, you know, in high school, coming out of high school and college, where they were still supported by their families. You know, it was as a whole, no one ever really thought like, oh, I'm going to work at McDonald's when I'm 50. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the mindset necessarily. But unfortunately, that's the world that we live in. You know, where if I go to a restaurant, I'm looking at a 65-year-old woman wait my table. You know what I'm saying? And if you're paying her to be on her feet all day, to wait on people, deal with people, you know, probably not even have a car, barely making it at home, probably have kids to support. Like $15 an hour is not enough to live, especially in a metropolitan city. Like if you're living in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Atlanta, Miami, New York, like I just posted today. There is no way.
I was going to talk about you already.
There is no way that I'm able to make it in LA, in Los Angeles alone on what I make. And that's sad because Los Angeles is my home city. I was born and raised here. And the thought that I might have to move somewhere completely different just to afford to live, they need to make it $20 is what they need to do.
Yeah,
I completely agree with you, Daniel. And I think that more people than what we think are in the same boat as you. And it's just the cost of living and the rent, for example, here in Los Angeles, you know, it's crazy. You know, people put the price, whatever price they want on their properties, and it's just not fair.
There's no reason I should be paying $1,200 to $1,400 on 300 square feet of space. That's just ridiculous.
You're right.
And fun thing, they always say that you should only be paying, I think it's like 25% of your income should be coming for rent. So
30.
if you work in 30%.
So it's three times, you should never be spending more than 3 times what you make. Which is why when you apply, applications always say you have to make 3 times the rent.
Yeah, which the average rent being $1,200 means you have to make $3,500 or $3,500 a month. That's $45 an hour for 80 hours. But with that, we actually have to take our first commercial break, and then we will be right back for our main topic for today.
Hey guys, Ty here from APLA Health, and I got some good news for you.
APLA Health is launching our first ever at-home HIV testing initiative.
As we battle the global pandemic of COVID-19 and all that it entails,
APLA Health is doing what we can to fill the gaps for those who are in need of knowing their status, linking to care, and having safer sex options.
The initiative, officially known as Swab and Chill, will be our virtual hub for those seeking to take an HIV test, receive HIV kits, link into medical care for those who are HIV positive, while also having access to several other programs and services that specialize in harm reduction for HIV infection.
Such services include PrEP and PEP information, as well as substance abuse services. Our goal with Swab and Chill is to make HIV testing easily accessible and easy to use within the comfort of your own home.
We provide each client with the Aura Quick at-home testing kit. This kit is a simple test that is done by orally swabbing the gums and waiting 20 minutes for your results.
APLA staff is available to virtually assist you while taking the test, while providing resources and support for those who may test positive.
maybe you already know your status and you're just low on condoms and lube due to accessibility. No problem. We can also send you one of our safer sex kits right to your front door.
As we strive to keep our community safer and well-informed, your privacy is also a high priority.
All packaging will appear from APLA Health. Our over-the-phone assessments are quick, easy, and secure, so you can feel safe in sharing your results with us and asking any questions that you may have.
If you or someone that you know is interested in having one of our at-home testing kits mailed to you, or you just want more information on what Swab and Chill can provide, please call one of our team members at 323-329-9713, or just email us.
Come swab and chill with 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 us.
And we are back. Come swab and chill with us. Roger.
Come and chill with us.
Yes, yes.
So let's get into the main topic for the day. So today's main topic is February feels, right? This is February. It's like, this is February. We're in the middle of February. If you didn't know, this past weekend was Valentine's Day. I've said it like 8 times. We're almost a year into COVID. Right now, especially around this time of year, we're seeing a lot of people tend to be depressed. We've got seasonal depression. People just in general are a little bit, even if you're not depressed, sadder. The weather's colder. It's darker for longer. You know, just not as fun anymore. The holidays are over. Holiday magic is over. We go from living in Mariah Carey's, Christmas fantasy to basically nothing. So today's conversation is, how do we deal with that? How do we step back into, the real world in February? February is a weird month a lot of the times for a lot of people. So how do we do that? Especially as people of color, especially as queer people, especially as Black people, or brown people, Latin, Asian, anything like that. Also, happy belated Lunar New Year. So for you two, starting with Roger, what is one thing that you do during this time of year that helps with your regulation of emotions or feelings to make you feel better, if you will?
I really try to find support with my family and friends, to be honest with you. I'm someone that it's pretty much, from family, I don't have family members in Los Angeles. And so I have always been in contact with them through, the internet, the phone, or whatever. And so that's one of the things that I try to do, and always being able to just acknowledge the fact that I am going through some kind of feelings, and really reach out to people and ask for that ear, to hear what's going on with you and things like that. So I think that that's one of the main things I do. Also, I mean, I am big on therapy, so yeah, I always have been, and not just because we're talking about this subject today, but mental health has been something that provide me tools to deal with different situations that sometimes are unexpected, and it's definitely something that has helped me even right now through COVID, for example, or through this time that we are not able to really see people and visit friends and visit family and all of that. So that's another thing that I do. What else? I try to also write down things that I'm going through that are just kind of like make note of things that I'm dealing with that maybe not all the time I'm aware of, and so to work on that in the future. So if I access mental health services, like really I can talk about some of the issues that I faced that I wasn't expecting to face, and work on that. So
Great, thank you. I love that, especially the writing things down. I do that, so we love that, and therapy is always big. Roger, I do have a question for you too. And if you can say no, I don't want to answer that too. As someone who, you with your clients, you work with people who are actively using substances right now. I read an article today that says within the last year we have seen drug overdoses increase about 20% over the past year. And I was wondering if the people who are using it, maybe do you have ideas on what they can do to kind of help prevent this, or how to, we talked about this on drug and drugs, how to deal with substance use and loneliness that happens with all of it.
I mean, that's a tough and hard, question to answer. But I think the problem is that not everything works the same for everyone, right? So, as therapy might be something that helps people, some people might not really benefit from it at all, like because they just are not really open to it. I mean, they might hear someone say, "Go to therapy and try this," but they're not really, their mind is not open to it, and can you repeat your question, because I feel like I'm missing something
Oh
there.
no, it's okay. It's just what can someone who is actively using right now do to kind of help manage the loneliness without more so going into substance use, especially because we have seen substance use overdoses increase.
Right. Well, as harm reduction programs that I have always worked with, I always um, tell people like to write down the things that they are more concerned about with their use. So that could be the way they use the type of like if they're injecting or if they're smoking and what that causing to their life, and if this is something that are using just to be sociable, to feel like they are part of a certain group of people, they maybe try to create a different group of people aside from their friends who use drugs. But once again, it's hard. One of the things we talk about is writing things, right? So making like a schedule, kind of like. I'm gonna go work out, or I'm going to have a cup of coffee or whatever in the morning, and I'm gonna read a book, and I'm going to try to go to school or whatever it is. I mean, online obviously now, but it's not an easy question to answer, to be honest with you. Like I feel like everybody's so different, and things work different for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you definitely make a point. So thank you so much for that. What about you, Daniel? During this time, and obviously, once again, I'm not going to like draw everything out, but during this time, how have you dealt with the stressors that have come along with, Valentine's Day, COVID-related things, or just the world right now?
So I'm a person that has done my work for years upon years upon years upon years to deal with a lot of triggers and traumas. And, in my mid 30s, they kind of have become second nature. Therapy has definitely been one of them. Having honest conversations with myself, expressing how I feel, acknowledging what I feel, letting what happens in my body come up and come out, is very important. And I think when we talk about therapy, it's a convoluted concept for a lot of people to really grasp, because it's like, well, how do I start? Where do I start? Where do I go? A Google search. quite honestly. You can Google therapists, certified therapists in your area. But I will say, when it comes to therapy, it's like trying on shoes. You have to kind of try on a few different pair to find the one that really fits you, and really fits what it is that you're dealing with, because you have different types of therapists. Just because they are a therapist doesn't mean that they necessarily are able to specifically handle what it is that you're dealing with. And so understanding that is important. But things that I try to do is I try to create peaceful space for myself. I think that, and this tangent, I don't think that it is a coincidence in our country that October, November, December, January are the holiday months that bring us closer to family and closer to, these high rise moments. And then the shortest month of the year, that just so happens to be Black History Month, is also the month where people start to kind of dive down into this depression. I don't think that is, again, coincidence. I think that is strategic. And so because of that, I think that we need to understand that there is a lot that specifically Black and brown folks have to consider in their health. Because what happens during Black History Month, we start seeing all of these stories about, Black historians and Black heroes and things of that nature, but it also brings up a lot of historical trauma that our country has faced and continues to face, that does not help us with with the seasonal depression, the loneliness. You have Valentine's Day, which was, Sunday. That's a very hard, holiday for some people to deal with, even though you have millions of people who feel like, oh, that's just, the corporations created that because they wanted to sell more candy. Yeah, that might be the reason. But when I'm going on my timeline and everybody's in love and everybody's posting, oh my God, they're so amazing, and you sitting on the couch with a bottle of Coke and your dog and you're feeling like crap, still doesn't feel good. So I think something that is tangible that you can do right now in the right now of the moment is create a space that is yours. Get you some candles from the dollar store. Find you a book if you're a reader. Get a new journal if you're a writer. Put together your favorite playlist if music helps you. If you're creative and you need to paint, get you some canvas. But create a space that is affirming, that is peaceful, and that allows you to express what you feel in a positive and encouraging way. The worst thing that you can do is suppress what comes up in the body. If tears come up in your body, let those tears come out. If anger comes up in your body, find you a pillow or find you an open space where you can just scream at the top of your lungs and get it out. But creating safe space, peaceful space, is definitely something that I have learned how to do. And it's definitely something that I am doing in this season, because we were talking before the show, I am not in the best headspace. I feel like I need to be on an island in the Maldives. But unfortunately, $20 is not is not the minimum wage here in California. So I can't afford to go to the Maldives right now. But yes, definitely creating safe and peaceful space, just to get your mind in a space where you can process
Yeah.
what you feel.
Yeah, I think that's actually really, really great. And especially when we talk about Black communities, brown communities, underrepresented communities, safe space is so much more than just a physical location, right? Roger, you kind of mentioned this earlier too, when we talk about, are you ready to see a therapist? Are you ready to get mental health? Part of a safe space is you also accepting that, like, I'm ready to take the steps forward. Like Daniel, as you said, you've done the work. I feel like a lot of times people say they want to do the work, but don't always know what the work entails or prepare for the trauma that comes back from the work of it all. When we talk about Black and brown communities and we talk about therapy, yes, a lot of times it's hard to find a therapist that we all can connect with. But then when we talk about Black and brown communities, there's issues with, does my insurance even cover it? And if your insurance does cover it, is it for people around you? So those are things for Black and brown people that definitely you have to kind of take into consideration a lot. So one thing that I tell people, if you're not ready for therapy right now, if you haven't found the therapist for you, there's other ways. Safe space, creating a safe space, like you said, Daniel, is amazing, amazing thing. And I think a lot of people do that naturally and we don't realize it, right? When we're in the bathroom for a long period of time in the shower, sitting on the toilet on our phones, our bedrooms, everyone's got those little red lights now or those little blue lights. You turn music, you turn that light on, that's your safe space, right? So that's definitely something that I think we can think of as alternatives, especially for Black people. Religion, the church is a huge, huge place. We often say, don't see a therapist, just go to church, pray it out. I don't agree 100% about praying it out, but I do think it's a great place to find community. Communities of color, especially, we thrive in this community setting, right? We want to talk to people. We want to, feel lifted up by a community. So it is kind of what both of you are saying is find those places, find those people, find those things that do that for you. So those are kind of what I've been thinking about when we talk about feelings and safe space. For me, I've been really, really lucky this past year in that I've had a community, I've had people to really kind of keep me going, but I can only imagine if I didn't have it, right? And especially when we talk about Black people, when we talk about Latinx people, even now, even our Asian community, because of the racial, attacks they're seeing, they're finding it really hard to feel uplifted and comforted genuinely. So I think finding places where that you're able to do that, right? But as long as it's healthy, right? Because if we're talking about someone who is a substance user, you might be really, really accepted with all the people who are using, but is this a healthy kind of support system? So definitely think about that. If you're out there and you're not sure if therapy's for you or how to handle it, find a community and then go from there and see how that works for you. I like that. That's my
I really love what Daniel said because sometimes we don't know that we do things that actually help us cope with these things. Like, for example, I love singing and I do it only in my room, but still, it's the thing that makes me really joyful, and makes me feel myself and makes me really happy. It doesn't matter if the song is sad or happy, it's just that's something to me, right? And so that's something that I didn't even think about, right? One of the things that I do to cope with things, and to deal with situations. But I also I wanted to add to everything that a lot of times our communities when we talk about mental health, they see it as, well, if I access mental health, it's because I have like some kind of illness, right? And you have to be already diagnosed by a doctor with some bipolarism or schizophrenia, whatever it is the case, right? And so that's the way our community think about it. And this is one of the reasons why also they do not access this type of services, because they feel that they're going to be pointing a little box already that, oh, you are you're crazy, you're having some mental issues, and this is why, because only people who have mental issues access things. But then we need to think about it more of I want to get ready for when things get tough. I want to be ready to deal with things in the most healthy way possible. And so, in mental health, definitely therapy, it's one of the ways of doing that, right? And so I just wanted to add that because I think that our community needs to stop thinking about it in such a negative way and really think about it as this is a tool that's going to help me do better for myself and to know myself better and to know what things I need to work on and things like that. So
yeah. So if you are a Black or brown person or just anyone out there watching right now and you need help finding mental health, reach out to us. We may not be able to offer you because none of us here are counselors, but I'm sure one of us can send you the right place. But with that, we're going to go ahead and go into our last commercial break before we get into our last segment of the day. So we'll be back.
Hey, I'm Melvin. Welcome to Him Around Town. I'm a him. What if someone told you that you could take a daily pill to almost eliminate your chances of getting HIV? What if I told you that there is already a pill that does that? Now here's the real tea. Did you know that most insurances cover the cost with a small to no copay? Don't have insurance? That's okay. Here at APLA Health, we can help you find a program that will cover your costs. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, also called PrEP, is a once-a-day pill that does that very thing. Now, it doesn't mean that you are protected from other STIs, but hey, we get it. Sometimes things happen and we forget a condom, or one breaks. With PrEP, at least you know that you are protected from HIV. Now, let me be very, very real with you. Some people have mild side effects, but those usually disappear after 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, now say you feel like you have been exposed to HIV from unprotected sex, needle sharing, or sexual assault. Did you know that if you take a medication within 72 hours of contact, your chances of contracting HIV would dramatically drop to almost zero? What surprise? There is a pill for that. It's also called post-exposure prophylaxis, or PEP. With PEP taken once a day or twice a day for 28 days, it will help dramatically reduce your risk of getting HIV. However, like I said before, it must be within 72 hours of exposure. The sooner the better. Just like PrEP, most insurances will cover the cost of PEP, and if not, here at APLA Health, you will find another way for your treatment to get paid. Now let's get very, very, very real, you guys. A simple pill once a day can drop your chances of contracting HIV. It's like taking a vitamin, brushing your teeth, or something we hope that you do every day. There are even apps to remind you to take it. So if you have any questions for helping him, give us a call right here. We'll be happy to hear from you.
Oh no, Ron. That was
I know.
If anyone missed last week's episode for National Black HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, Nirvan was one of our guests. Go onto YouTube or our Facebook at APLA Health Prevention Department, and you can watch that or any of our other videos. But let's get to our final topic of the day, and it is called Quickie. Love the Quickie.
Come on, the quickie.
So for today's Quickie, I'm turning this over to Roger because Roger has something really, really fantastic going on. And we talked about it here a few times, but I figured it's best to hear it from the horse's mouth, if you will. So Roger, tell us what's happening on the 18th.
Sure. So we have our new show. It's called You Got Talent. This will be a fun virtual competition. It's going to last 6 weeks. And starting February 18th, you can actually already submit your videos. Any talent that you got, you can be a singer, dancer, whatever it is, you can submit your videos. And then you will get a message. And as you can see in the flyer, there's the link. If we can see the flyer again, there's a link in there that you can submit your videos, and you will be contacted by the person that checks all of that. But so it's going to be amazing. There's a grand prize of $500 at the end of the 6 weeks, and there's some prizes along the way, and then there will be a second and third place. So this it's put together by different nonprofit organizations that work with people who are living in sobriety, and the idea is to give people something fun to do, more so now during COVID time. And so since we cannot be in like Gay Pride or New Year's Eve celebrations and stuff like that, so we wanted to make sure that there was an option for people who maybe just wanted to stay away from triggers or wanted to continue their sobriety or start begin like their sobriety, to have something fun to do and get engaged. And you also can vote during the 6 weeks for the different contestants. So just stay tuned for that and visit our page for You Got Talent.
Yes, and I heard you have a special host. Who is the host?
I know. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm joking. Of course, our fabulous Daniel is going to be our host, and I cannot wait to see all that happening because I know he's amazing. And so, it's going to be fabulous. Daniel, do you want to talk a little bit about
Well, I'm very excited to be hosting You Got Talent. It's been quite a ride, obviously, because we're in the middle of this COVID madness. But I just want to add that if you want to know how you can submit your videos, you can go to Facebook / You Got Talent, or you can register at bit.ly / You Got Talent WeHo. Again, it's just a 30-second video that you submit. And once you submit it, you will get contacted and they will let you know when your video will be seen by the judges and whatnot. And of course, you want your friends and your family to tune in and watch, which you'll be able to do through a Zoom link. Again, you can go to You Got Talent on Facebook. All of that information is going to be on there so that people can watch via Zoom, call in, cast their vote, and honey, win that $500 grand prize. Because, you know, if I wasn't hosting, I'd be in there trying to get my thing on.
Right? I'm sitting here like, how great is my whistling?
Come on, look, you can do Miss Congeniality and put the glasses on the table and do a little song. Yes.
Wait, I'm not even gonna be. It's just gonna be me with empty glasses too. It's just gonna be a recording. I want to have like Cardi B's WAP.
Well, you gotta at least put the water in there to make it look real.
Fine, but I'm still playing WAP. It's just gonna be.
Hey.
Look, that's gonna. So that starts on the 18th. You both gave all
this Thursday, yes.
It is this Thursday. So you have time if you are interested. We know there's a couple of y'all out there who's got talent. At least one person out there has talent.
Okay, I will send my salsa dancing videos then.
Yes!
I wish I cannot participate, but I will win too. No, I'm joking.
Just submit anyway, just so it's like an extra, like special, like performance. That's it. Because I want to see that.
Right.
Look, because I want to see that too.
No, Roger. For the quickie, everyone comes with another topic. I know I made you talk about something else, but is there anything going on in your life that's just been really interesting that you have to share with anybody?
Oh my God, I don't know. When you
don't
put
know
on the spot.
Well, while you
I can think about it.
Okay,
what?
you think about it. I have something.
Okay.
So
Come on,
for everyone out there right now, if you are currently enrolled in school, I start school in like 7 minutes. I go back to class. So if you are in class right now, I just want you to know, yes, it is hard. Yes, those Zoom classes are really, really difficult, and it feels like we're not getting everything we're out of it. Just keep going, everybody. Really, like, it's a struggle. And I'm about to go into a 5-hour class through Zoom, so I get it. I really, really do get it. I know. We love school. So definitely
do we?
Continue education is so important, everyone.
It is.
But if you are feeling overwhelmed with school or you're getting back into it, it's okay. No, none of us know what we're doing. I was emailing my professor today, and my professor even said that she's stressed because it's her first online class. So it is okay if you're stressed with online schooling, everyone, because everyone else is too. So welcome back. It's February.
My quickie is going to be simply an appreciation quickie for one of our very own Healthy Him ambassadors, Eric Devante, who is an amazing host, interviewer. He is really working to create his own media empire. And he just recently dropped an interview that he did with the incredible artivist, author, speaker, and wonderful Black trans woman, Miss Hope Giselle. And so I want to give appreciation to one of our very own, Eric. You can watch the interview between Eric and Hope on YouTube. All you have to do is look up The World According to Eric, and that's ERIC. The World According to Eric, it should pop up wonderfully. And I just want to say from APLA, on behalf of Healthy Him, Eric, we are so very proud of you for doing what it is that you are doing, and continuing to just take your purpose and your dreams and bring them into fruition. It's just a wonderful thing to see when you have people that are part of your program and then they kind of just blossom and go and do what it is that you know that they're good at. So The World According to Eric, watch the interview. It's an incredible interview. If you do not know who Hope Giselle is, child, you're going to learn today.
It's a good interview. Everyone watch it. Yeah, follow Eric just in general. Eric is one of our ambassadors and talented. Just when you meet someone who is just talented, that's what it is. And we love to see that, right? We love that. Especially gay Black men.
Right?
So proud. So yeah, shout out Eric. Roger, have you come up with a quickie?
Yeah, so just on a personal level, and I think that I thought it was good to share with people. So I'm working on buying a house, and so so it might be this year or next year, but I just wanted to kind of like acknowledge the fact that there are so many challenges in the process of doing this, and I've done it once, but now that I'm doing it by myself, as a single person, it's different. It's different. And so it's just a lot of organization, a lot of really looking at your finances and looking at where everything is going, and that extra whatever, like Netflix or whatever you have, maybe you don't need it.
The luxuries and things.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's a luxury. Exactly. So, just kind of like, making sure that people don't give up on their dreams and stuff like that, and keep pushing for it, and working on what they need to work to get there. So, yeah. Just
well, congratulations. Keep us updated, and we won't tell the world, but keep us updated about your house. So with that, we are almost at the end of our show. We're definitely going to end on time today because remember, I have school now. But before we do, Roger, one more time, how can people find you?
Sure, they can call me at APLA 323-329-9908, or they can also send me an email at rcediles@apla.org. That's RSEDILES at apla.org. If I don't answer the phone, please leave me a message. Leave me your phone number, because a lot of times people leave me a message but no number, and I'm like, how do I call you back? And so,
you're bad.
The other part that I didn't mention is that there are some incentives, in this in people's participation within the program. So if you're interested, give me a call and I will give you all of the information about how to get those incentives. We also do home testing with Swap and Chill, so you can access that through us as well. And so our fabulous Daniel will help us out with that. And so so there's different things that we can do. We can do set up goals that people might want to be interested in setting up, or just something simple as referral to some kind of assistance for housing, or mental health services, or anything that we can help with. We're here for that. Okay, so yeah.
So yeah, give Roger a call, everyone. Roger's just great to listen to talk to. So even if you don't have anything to talk about, just listen to him talk. You'll enjoy it. So with that, we are at the end of our show today. So we want to thank everyone so much for joining us. We will see you all same time, same place next week. Daniel, do you have anything special you want to say before we head out today?
Just love yourself. Love yourself first. Be kind to yourself, and be as fabulous as you were meant to be.
Yes. Roger, do you have anything that you would like to say for your goodbye?
Just along the lines of Daniel, be gentle with yourself. That's huge, and so thank you so much, guys, for inviting me. I really had fun watching you all and listening, and being part of the conversation. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
And with that, we will say goodbye for now. Bye, everybody.